As of 2022, this year, what's your final analysis of the political leadership and the human mind and the human being of Donald Trump?
I sort of avoided this for years.
Just talking about Trump.
I tried to avoid talking about Trump for years. It's the same reason I tried to avoid writing about Brexit.
Do you think that Trump, just sorry on a small tangent, do you think the Trump story is over, or are we just done with volume 1?
I've no idea. The people I know who know him say that he's running. And I think that in general, Republicans have a choice in front of them. One friend put it to me recently, said, you've got to go in with your toughest fighter. And I understand that instinct. And I also think it's a very dangerous instinct, because what if your toughest fighter is also your biggest liability? What's the best way to get out the Democrat vote than 2024 than to have Donald Trump running?
And the people that are doing the war in the West are pretty tough fighters.
They are. And I'm cautious about this because I know every way I tread it's dangerous. But let me just be
tread
frank.
Gracefully.
I'll tread as gracefully as I can. In my Wellington boots. In my galoshes. Here's the thing. I think everybody knows what Trump is. I think we all knew for years. And I feel sorry for the conservatives who had to pretend that he was something he wasn't. I felt sorry for the ones who had to pretend that, for instance, he was some devout Christian or a man of faith or a man of great integrity or all of these sorts of things. Because I mean, in the public eye for years, it had been obvious that wasn't the case. But he has something extraordinary. One thing is a method of communication that you've just got to say was unbelievable.
In one fundamental way that you can't look away for some reason.
Can't look away. I mean, watching him clear everyone out of the way in 2016 was thrilling, because those people needed clearing away. You know, it's just horrified. What, America's going to give us another Bush? What's so great about this family? America's going to give us another Clinton. We're going to get to choose between a Clinton and a Bush. Mark Stein said, we'll just wait for the day the Clintons and the Bushes intermarry, and then we can really have a monarchy again. So I was very pleased to see him clear them away. I was very pleased to see him sort of raise some of the issues that needed raising. I thought it was a sort of breath of fresh air, and I wished it wasn't him doing it. And then there was the question of him governing, and it was just perfectly clear he didn't know how to govern. What he did have, however, what he does have, is an incredible ability to fight. And some of the forces he was arraigned against him, my gosh, they would have taken down anyone else. I mean, if they'd have probably done some similar BS against Ted Cruz if he, or Marco Rubio, they'd have said, as some people have admitted, they'd have accused all these people of racism and misogyny and everything else as well, just like they did Mitt Romney, just like they did John McCain. But Trump was the one ugly enough and bruisey enough to fight.
And also a willingness or a lack of willingness to play sort of the civil game of politics, sort of, at a party when like politeness gets you in trouble.
Yeah, I mean,
show up and everybody's polite, and you just out of momentum want to be being polite, and all of a sudden you're on an island with Jeffrey Epstein, and it gets you into a huge amount of trouble.
But so Trump has these sort of extraordinary qualities, but I just, look, he screwed up during his time in office because he didn't achieve as much as he should have done. Now, you could say that about every president, but I refuse to acknowledge that 2 years when he had both houses in the beginning, he just didn't know what levers to pull. I mean, he was sitting in the office behind the Oval Office tweeting, watching the news. I'm sorry, that's not a president. And he couldn't fill and didn't fill positions because people knew. I mean, people who were very loyal to him, he would just, he'd get them to do something loyal and then destroy them. And I think... And then we get onto the thing about, and here we get onto the, what of course is very, very fractious terrain, but I covered the 2020 election, and I was traveling all around the States, and I went to Trump rally and all sorts of stuff. And I was in DC on election night, and and it got very ugly at one point in so-called Black Lives Matter Plaza, when it looked like Trump might win when Florida came in. I could feel the air got very, very heated, and like some Antifa people started getting into black bloc and this sort of stuff. And I thought, this town's going to burn, if Trump wins. And in the aftermath of the vote, I was willing to hang around in Washington for a bit, and then I saw it was going to drag on. And I saw some of his people and others, and people told me they had great evidence of vote rigging and all this sort of thing. And I'm afraid I'm one of those people who doesn't believe that the evidence that they've presented is good enough to justify the claim that he won the election. And people say, have you seen 2,000 mules? And have you seen this? Look, the evidence isn't there that the election was won by Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I think that what he did on January the 6th was unbelievably dangerous. And, here it is possible for us to hold two ideas in our head at the same time. January the 6th was not nothing, nor was it an insurrection, an attempt to stage a coup. And there's a vanishing number of people in the US, or as Eric Weinstein said, it's like this is the roof that you have to walk along, and like the sides are very steep.
Yeah.
If you fall off either side,